Hello, everyone. It's Charlton, a former priest who was accused of sexually abusing kids during his time as a priest, was found dead, shot to death in his home in Henderson, Nevada. He's originally from New Jersey, where he spent most of his time in the priesthood, and actually as a teacher following that, after he was removed from his ministry and defrocked, I believe. He was accused by multiple people, multiple kids of sexual abuse or, very sketchy circumstances. I'll read through it in a minute. But he was found in his kitchen with one gunshot wound to his neck, I believe. Shot to death Saturday at around 5 p.m. after police were called there to do a welfare check. I don't know who called him, called to do the welfare check. That's not known to me. And that's a more modern picture, actually, from 2011. I believe he had moved to Henderson, Nevada in 2016. 2011, I think, is when he was finally removed. His teaching certificates were taken away from him, and he could no longer teach. Because even after he was removed from the church and defrocked in 1992, I believe, he continued to teach as a math teacher for like two more decades, for 20 more years nearly. So that's a more modern picture of him. And they are treating it as a homicide, obviously a gunshot wound to the neck. In this article, NJ.com, it doesn't tell you the manner of death, but in other articles it does. Maybe it's the New York Post, I'm not real sure. Former New Jersey priest was shot dead in his Nevada home a month after his name appeared on, and recently his name appeared on a list of New Jersey priests credibly accused of sexual abuse. John Capparelli, 70, was found with a fatal gunshot wound to his neck in the kitchen of his home, in Henderson, Nevada. Clark County Coroner's Office said the defrocked Roman Catholic priest died under suspicious circumstances, and his death is being investigated as a homicide. City of Henderson police said the world is a safer place without him, said Richard Fitter. That's one of the individuals who accused Capparelli and actually, I think, settled and won a lawsuit against the church regarding it. Whatever led to his death, it's a certain amount of karma, Richard Fitter said. A police spokesman wouldn't say if Capparelli's death is related to the sex abuse accusations against him because the case is an open investigation. Capparelli was accused of groping and brutalizing teenage boys in the 1970s, 80s, and was defrocked in 1992. He also ran a website featuring young men wrestling in revealing bathing suits, according to the Star Ledger. He later worked in Newark Public School as a Newark Public School math teacher until his license was revoked in 2011 after allegations against him were made public. Capparelli bought his home in Nevada in August 2016. So he also ran a website featuring young men wrestling and revealing bathing suits. According to the Star Ledger, it says that he would tell the kids to strip down to their Speedos to wrestle because he didn't want their clothing to get caught on the mat or whatever, and then he would literally hover over them taking pictures of them, according to Richard Fitter, I believe, or at least one of the others who had accused him of this. And it just occurred to me right now, gunshot wound to the neck, being that he's one of the names that appeared on this list of Garden State priests credibly accused of sexual abuse. I mean, it's possible that that's self-inflicted too. So it goes on to say, an former New Jersey priest and teacher who was accused of groping young boys was found shot to death in Nevada home over the weekend. Police conducting a welfare check Saturday found the body of John Capparelli in the house he owned on Bonner Springs Drive. Sorry, just wanted to show you the house. It's in Henderson, Nevada. Capparelli had been shot once in the neck. His body was found in the kitchen about 5 p.m. according to Clark County Coroner's Office. Last month, Capparelli's name was included in a list of 188 priests and deacons in the state who had been credibly accused of sex crimes against children. Accused of groping and brutalizing teenage boys, Capparelli was suspended from the ministry in 1992, nearly 2 decades later after the Star Ledger revealed he was working as a public school teacher in Newark. The state revoked his certificates. Though he was never convicted of a crime, multiple accusers said Capparelli made them wrestle in swimwear while he took photos. He was also linked to a fetish website that he allegedly ran from his home. Capparelli worked at Our Lady of Fatima in North Bergen, Oratory Prep in Summit, Holy Trinity in Westfield, St. Teresa in Kenilworth, and Temporary Chaplain Valley Hospital in Ridgewood. In the years following his accusation, Capparelli moved from New Jersey to Nevada. Public records show he purchased a home in Henderson, city of 300,000. Police in Nevada declined to say how Capparelli died, but they categorized the death as their third homicide of the year. Is a suicide a homicide? I don't think it is. So they must have reason to believe that it wasn't self-inflicted, I guess. Preliminary investigations indicate the victim died of suspicious circumstances and the incident is being investigated as a homicide, the police said in the statement. A suspect has not been identified at this time, and police are following up on developing leads. A Henderson police spokesman said the case was an active investigation, that police would not be commenting further. An assistant in the coroner's office said Capparelli's body remained in the morgue and had not been claimed as of late Tuesday morning. A neighbor in Henderson told KTNV-TV that Capparelli kept to himself and was often seen walking his dog near his home. Some of his alleged victims won settlements from the church, but he never faced prosecution. The allegations regarded incidents in the 1980s when he worked at various churches, including a... All right, let me continue. The reported allegations against Mr. Capparelli took place while he was still in the priesthood, but they continued to emerge in the years after he left the ministry in 1992. The Star-Ledger, the newspaper in Newark, covered him extensively, reporting in 2011 that he had been hired as a math teacher at a public high school in New York. He later quit teaching and moved to Nevada. For several years, Mr. Capparelli operated a porn website featuring young men wrestling, the Star-Ledger reported. Mr. Capparelli had been accused in lawsuits of groping teenage boys, asking them to wrestle and photographing them in compromising positions while wearing swimsuits. He never faced criminal charges related to the allegations, nor had he ever publicly acknowledged any wrongdoing. One of his accusers, Rich Fitter, said he had been raped by Mr. Capparelli as a teenager after meeting him through a Catholic after-school program in Union County, where the priest ran a wrestling club. Mr. Fitter said Capparelli recruited young men with a certain look, clean-cut and athletic for the club, befriending them and taking them to movies or out for pizza. He made the boys wrestle in Speedo swimsuits, saying that they risked getting caught on loose fabric and injuring themselves, Mr. Fitter said. He'd be hovering over you, snapping all these pictures, Mr. Fitter, now 52, said. And then he'd say, let me help you with some of the moves, and then he would actually get out on the mat with you. Over time, Mr. Fitter said the priest got more possessive and things got weirder. He started to pull away from Mr. Capparelli, and that is when the priest raped him, Mr. Fitter said. The world is a better place and a safer place now, Mr. Fitter said. He added, part of me is angry that I am never going to get an apology or an admission from him that what he did was wrong, but nobody else is going to be hurt by him, and that is a good thing. And that is the story there, man. That is the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.